Um, yeah, I'm here tonight to talk about football, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in from. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League. It's a weekly misery recap for James. This is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different teams. My name is James. I support the worst team in the Premier League, 20th position Arsenal.
Statistically, yes.
We are cutting that, and we are playing that over and over again.
Mathematically, objectively,
no joke. I actually did see a graph that it is the second or third worst start to a Premier League season ever.
I could believe it.
It was only. I'm not going to be able to find it now, but there was only one or two teams that had a worse goal differential while losing all first three games.
There's one that's tied with them right now.
That
was a goal though.
Yeah. That man up top, that guy who's talking, that's Brad. He supports the champions of Europe, Chelsea, and down below us he's
champions of London.
He's sitting high and mighty right now. That's Sean. He supports in form, top of the table, undisputed best team in the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspurs. How are you guys doing tonight? What's going on? What's up? How's your day coming?
I'm doing swell, my friend.
Yeah, Sean's doing the best out of all of us, but I'm feeling very good. My prediction's still on track.
I'm actually ready for you to run down the table for me, if you wouldn't mind.
I will bring up the Premier League table momentarily. First, just want to ask everyone, if you're listening, if you could please subscribe, turn notifications on, comment, like, rate the podcast, all those things. Share it with a friend. Do all that good stuff for us, because we really appreciate it. We want this podcast to grow, to reach new people, and so we can continue talking about the Premier League with more and more people. And if you don't do those things, I think Sean's going to tell you about a potential pitfall that could befall you.
Yeah, you if you do not rate, subscribe, 5 stars, leave a comment, tell your mom, all those good things, then a very minor inconvenience, like the dishwasher you have in your home or apartment, will not be quite powerful enough to clean the plates on the first wash through, and you'll have to wash everything twice.
Oof. That's a lot of time.
It's just a minor inconvenience having to run the dishwasher twice. But you probably want to rate, subscribe, give 5 stars, and then put a comment.
So actually, interesting story about dishwasher. My brother was dishwashers all use like the pods now, or instead of using the detergent, like the powder detergent. It all comes in a pod now, right? And that's all what we buy. Apparently, that reduces the pre-wash cycle. Because like a traditional dishwasher, you put like the powder in the cup and you close it, and then you put a little bit more in the other cup, and that falls down.
Yeah.
It's like a pre-wash. So apparently, we're missing the pre-wash aspect of washing our dishes in the dishwasher, because the pod only has like the main wash detergent in it, and so
that's why you would have to wash it twice.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's going on. That my brother was telling me about this. He watched
that one since you asked me last week. That actually did happen to me. Recently.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it just didn't fully clean, and then I didn't have time to run it again before a situation, so I had to hand wash. Yeah.
You just like put some more food on top, and it was just like extra flavorful.
No, I actually hand washed it, James.
Does that mean you did not rate, subscribe, like, or turn on notifications for the podcast?
Whoa,
Sean, what is going
allegations?
Because your team is to the top here. It doesn't mean you don't get to support the pod that you're on.
Allegations and accusations have been thrown.
I am disappointed.
This is just the realness here. All right, guys, this will really happen to you if you don't rate, like, subscribe, comment, turn on the bell.
To be fair to Brad, I didn't do it last week.
Maybe we should have a mild inconvenience for people who participate in this podcast but don't promote it. Maybe we should have that.
Yeah.
Looking at you two. Anyway, so we got the league table up. So as I alluded to earlier, we got Tottenham in hot form, smoking +3 goal difference with 9 points, top of the table, sitting alone at the top. I think Sean's been saying you guys are looking at a +38 goal difference. And
we're on pace for +38, baby.
+38 goal difference and 114 points. That's just the perfect season right there.
Mm-hmm. We win every game 1-0. Easy peasy.
Well, I am looking here. It does look like you have your arch nemesis next weekend.
Oh, it's not Palace, is it?
It's Palace.
Oh my gosh.
It's Crystal Palace. Rounding out the top 4, West Ham United, the Fighting David Moyes are they're doing their thing. They're in the 7th place. United's in 7th place. 7 points. West Ham has 7 points. United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, all on 7 points. City up to 6 points with a massive victory over Arsenal this weekend. Looking down the table, got a bunch of people in the middle there with a few points, and then down, rounding out the relegation zone in the battle for survival in the Premier League, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers, Norwich City, and Arsenal all on no points. Unfortunately for Arsenal, have not scored a goal yet this season.
What was that last team? Did you read them in order? I just didn't know if you read them in order. 18, 19, 20.
I did read them in order. Arsenal are 20th position in the Premier League, going down to the Championship. If results stay the same, Arsenal are going down to the Championship.
How many teams are in the league? Just so
20.
Those fellows that don't know.
There's 20, Brett.
Oh, there's 20. Okay. Just checking.
All right, this is your chance to get it all out, guys.
It's not. It's going to keep going. Don't worry.
You know, if you just had 3 points, you'd be 12th.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
If you just had a goal, you might have passed Norwich, not be at the bottom.
Yeah,
we don't singular goal.
We don't do that here. But trust the process, guys. Trust the process.
Okay, Sixers.
We've got the players. We just got to trust the process. There's a lot of exterior voices trying to bring us down, but we just got to be strong together.
Listen, if in the process was Ben Simmons being the coach of the Sixers, they'd be in the same position.
It's true.
If a frog had a glass ass, it'd only jump once. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's from your grandpa, right?
Yep.
Appreciate it, Sean's grandpa. All right. Quick rundown of what we're talking about. We're going to do our comments as normal. And then kind of a light episode this week because we are in the international break at this point. Some players are going on international duty. Other players are being restricted, can't travel, things like that. But so this weekend coming up, the first weekend in September, Labor Day in America, the Labor Day weekend. There are no Premier League matches. It will be all international football. So go find a USA match or a Mexico match or a Germany match, wherever you live, whoever you support, go find that match and watch it. But we don't have any Premier League matches to preview, so we'll be talking only about the results from last week. And I'm going to be complaining about VAR and officiating. But that's what we have on docket for you tonight. So as always, we are going to check in on our comments from YouTube and Twitter. Everything's from YouTube this week. Our boy Jimmy, Liverpool supporter, he was basically just trolling this week, but he did have some comments. I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he did comment. We appreciate that. Just kind of joking around with some of the content we had from last week. Will, our resident Juve supporter, he commented. He's got one serious comment, one kind of joking comment. Brad, he has issues with you. And this all harkens back to what Tam Zeed used to say on the podcast about supporting your locals. Your local. And you know, he has no grapes with you supporting the Wizards, being a native of the D.C. metropolitan area. But what's up with dropping United, man? What's up with dropping D.C. United for Charlotte?
I do support my local.
So why
the coins to prove it?
Why don't you support the Hornets?
Because I was not a big MLS fan. I never went to any MLS game, so therefore I felt no attachment to DC United. Unlike my Wizards or my Nationals.
That's not a good. How many national games did you go to?
At least like 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah, I never went to a DC United game.
Dang, that's your brother used to go to DC United games all the time.
All the time. He's a DC United
Yeah,
fan.
I went up there with him.
1000%.
I went up there with him one time.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yo, RFK was crazy. Was
RFK is a dope stadium.
Was legit bananas. I think they've demolished.
Yes.
Have they demolished it yet? It's getting soon. They're tearing it
soon, if not.
Yeah, they're tearing it down soon. But that was DC United is a crazy experience.
So that's why I support my local.
I would rather pay $5 to go to a small high school's JV soccer game than watch MLS.
Nah, man, that's not true.
No,
you're just hating on MLS. MLS is
7 years ago, sure.
It is professional kickball.
No, it's not.
It is. I'm going to kick it as far as I can that way and hope one of my team's down there.
That's factually untrue. MLS.
I saw it on TV the other day, and that is what they were doing.
MLS.
It sounds like Tottenham last year.
All right, I'm not an MLS apologist. Like, I don't defend the MLS. I don't really watch a lot of MLS, but it's not.
No, it sounds like Louis Van Gaal, Manchester United is what it sounds like.
Yo, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Just I call it. I just thought of this, and I'm gonna coin it.
Okay.
Trademark it. It is the boot and scoot. You just boot it up the field and scoot after it and hope you get under it. The boot and scoot.
I like
that. What that's called.
Sean, so that was a bad take about MLS, but Will, he has to give you some props for kind of calling the Ronaldo transfer.
I knew he was going.
You've been saying for like 6 months that you thought
Ronaldo about 6 months
was leaving Juve.
Going home.
I disagreed. I didn't think that was happening. But clearly Sean was right.
Where did he sign this week?
Signed for Manchester United. And Will.
How about the 500 IQ play by City, huh?
Yo, it wasn't. It was.
I don't think
it was
City.
his agent. It was Ronaldo's agent. 100%.
Yeah.
We'll get into this in a second. Let me finish Will's comment real quick.
All right.
So he's sad to see Ronaldo go, but he thinks that Moise Kean, who's coming back on a 2-year loan with, I think, an option. I don't know if it's an obligation to buy or an option to buy from Everton. I don't remember. But Moise Kean's coming back. It's an obligation, Brad?
No, option.
Option.
It's an option.
Okay. You were nodding your head to a 2 option, like, query
That's
that I
a 2
had.
question.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Like a yes.
I heard option and then like obligation clicked in a second after I had already nodded my head.
Anyway, so Moise Kean, Will thinks that Moise Kean's a better fit for Juve right now than Ronaldo was, and that he also is unsure what kind of impact Ronaldo will have for United on the in the EPL. I tend to agree with him from the Ronaldo aspect. I mean, I don't know if Moise Kean is going to fit in well at Juve. I haven't been watching that much Juve recently, and I didn't watch any Moise Kean for PSG last year. But I don't honestly think Ronaldo's going to do much for United.
Yeah, I don't know either because like, who moves? I don't think Daniel James moving gives him room.
Daniel James got moved. He got sold.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that Daniel James is
okay.
not enough for Ronaldo.
I thought you were saying moved over. Yeah, he got transferred.
When you're paying Ronaldo $560K a week, he's not sitting on your bench. But then like, it's Greenwood. Why didn't Greenwood go on a loan? Is it Martial? Martial hasn't really seen the field too much already. Is it Sancho? Is it Rashford?
To be fair, like Ronaldo United have a lot of fixtures. They're playing in a lot of competitions. So having a lot of forwards is not necessarily a bad thing. Ronaldo will probably primarily play in the Premier League and the Champions League. I doubt he'll see much domestic cup action. He won't see the field in the EFL Cup. He might see game time in the FA Cup, maybe, but I seriously doubt it. I think he's only going to play in the Premier League and the Champions League.
United just have like an odd setup, right? Like if you think about it, like traditionally, Ronaldo, Rashford, Martial, and Lingard all play left forward or left wing.
They've got
like all of them traditionally.
Yeah.
I mean, he was traditionally on the right, correct? When he was at
he was a
Dortmund?
right mid in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, right
really,
mid.
He'll be left wing, just like Pulisic.
But so like Ronaldo is a good enough player that he can play just about anywhere, and Rashford's probably the same. But then who does that force to the left? Do you go to Martial? Do you stick with
I think
Lingard?
I think what'll happen is you'll see Ronaldo.
Greenwood?
I think you'll see Ronaldo play centrally, more frequently than necessarily out on the wing. I don't think he has the pace to play on the wing anymore.
I think his pace is fine.
Then what does Cavani do? Sit on the bench?
Yeah, and now they have Cavani. I think what probably happens is a Ronaldo on the right, Cavani central, and a Rashford left is probably what ends up happening.
That's a slow front. I don't know.
But not Rashford.
Right, you have one speed guy on the left side.
Well, Ronaldo has the pace to handle it on the left, especially if Rashford is pulling defenders on the opposite side of the field. He doesn't have to get in behind if Rashford already is.
I don't know.
And then him and Cavani can play link-up play, or he can put it into Rashford.
I think we do this at our transfer window wrap.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably right.
I think Ronaldo has been a tap-in merchant and a penalty merchant for the last 2 years. I don't think he's going to score many actual
I
goals.
disagree with that, and I had a bit of a disagreement with Will. From what I've seen, and I think we all know, we've primarily focused on the Premier League around here. I don't watch a large amount of Serie A. So a large part of, other than just catching a ESPN or ESPN Plus game here or there, the large majority of what I've seen of Juve have been in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They've felt like the fighting Ronaldos, and I don't know if that's because Ronaldo felt like he needed to take over the game, or if just generally the rest of the team was failing him. Well, but let me finish because I want to get to Will on that. So him saying that they are better off with Keane than Ronaldo may in a way be true, just as a team aspect. But what I think they're better off as in general is not having Pirlo. They didn't seem like they wanted to play for Pirlo last year. Is what it felt like. They felt not, I wouldn't say uninspired, because I've talked about on the pod, I don't like to say that players aren't trying, but they felt unmotivated in the games I've watched, other than Ronaldo.
Well, yeah, hero ball was Pirlo's strategy.
Hero ball, yeah, is what it felt like. And it felt like Ronaldo was the only one really motivated to do well. And that's why when you watch the game, he was the only one that looked like he was playing well. That was just my take.
I also don't know if that's more like Pirlo didn't have any ideas.
Yeah. So maybe it was just, okay, hope Ronaldo goes wins it. Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that was more in nature of the fact that Juve is just worse. Like their players are worse now than they were under Sarri, and so under Sarri, you still had Pjanic in the midfield, and Pjanic was definitely controlling that midfield.
Where is Pjanic now?
He plays for Barcelona at the moment. They did the weird.
Oh, that's right.
They did the weird money laundering swap for Pjanic and Arthur, and each club got 60 million euros for each. They sold each player. Juve sold Barca Pjanic for 60 mil, and then Arthur went the same way for 60 mil, and so they were just money laundering to make their books work. So I wonder if they just had a better midfield under Sarri than they did under Pirlo, because Aaron Ramsey hasn't really been that good for Juve. Weston McKennie's been decent last year, but I don't think Ronaldo was willing to be as reliant on the midfield, perhaps. And so maybe you're talking about like the hero ball. I wonder if like he just was like, yo, give me the ball and I'm going to do what I want to do, because like that's his mentality. That's his personality. He's like, I feel like I need to put this team on my back, so I'm going to do it the best I can. But yeah, I just kind of, and also their center forwards have.
Dybala,
but Dybala didn't really play that much last year,
right?
As far as I know, and Morata is Morata. So I don't know. We could discuss.
Morata is one step above our boy Timo Werner.
No, he's not.
He's one step above.
Werner lifted the Champions League trophy.
Stop.
Werner's a step above.
I think the rest of the team lifted Timo Werner to hold the trophy.
Timo.
And they did that to Morata when he won trophies with Chelsea too, but they just weren't as good as the Champions League.
Chelsea Football Club holding up bad strikers for years and years and years.
I think if we want to have this conversation about Juve, we should invite Will to the podcast. That's the only way that this will be done justice.
Yeah, and just as a disclaimer, before he rips me a new one on the comments next week, full disclosure, I don't watch a lot of Serie A, so I'm not watching every game.
Yeah.
I'm strictly talking about the games I was able to catch on Champions League, or every once in a while. Shout out to a local pub around here, Home Team Grill and the Fan. They play some Serie A games every once in a while during the week. So.
Brad, it looked like you raised your hand like you had a question.
No, it wasn't me that was highlighting on the screen. I was showing you my hands on the mouse. That was Sean highlighting the screen notes that time. That's all it was.
I clicked out of it though. I mean,
no, you were highlighting quite a few of them.
That's the worst. I get so annoyed when you guys do that. Anyway, let's talk the EPL. As much as I am enjoying this conversation, that's not about English football right now. But let's talk about the EPL. Okay.
I'll wait till you're done.
No.
Let's go. Let's start the EPL talk because it's going
to
relate better there.
Let's talk about the results. There was a game first thing Saturday that we need to talk about.
There was a game until Martin Atkinson decided that there wasn't a game anymore.
Oh, come on.
So City.
Until ESR decided there wasn't a game. Anyways, continue. Emil Smith Rowe missed a wide open goal.
I'm interested. All right, he did not miss a wide open goal.
Yes, he did.
Pratt. Okay, we're going to talk about this in a second.
Okay.
But City beat 10-man Arsenal 5-0. Villa and Brentford drew 1-1. Everton and beat Brighton away by 2-0. Newcastle Southampton drew 2-2. Norwich lost at home to Leicester 1-2. West Ham and Palace drew 2-2. Liverpool and Chelsea drew 1-1. Chelsea down to 10 men after Reece James was double jeopardied. Burnley and Leeds had a 1-1 draw on Sunday. Spurs beat Watford 1-0, of course, and United were gifted a victory away to Wolves on a obvious red card challenge by Paul Pogba that was not seen, not called, whatever it wasn't. Anyway, not like I have issues with Premier League refereeing this week, but yeah, okay. So we're gonna start, I guess, unfortunately, at the City of Manchester Stadium, formerly known as that, at the Etihad Stadium, where City and Arsenal, I hesitate to say played a game because it was so one-sided, but yeah. So City beat Arsenal 5-0. Xhaka was shown a straight red card in like the 34th minute or something. 35th minute. On an interesting interpretation of dangerous play, 2-footed tackle, and then City just continued to walk. I will say, for the first 8 minutes of the match, before City had their first attack, Arsenal were in that game and they looked really good. But the problem is that with City's first attack, they scored. And to be fair, was that the punch to the face goal?
Yes,
that was the first goal. That was the first goal where Callum Chambers was punched in the face and the goal was allowed to stand. I can't remember if that was the first or the second goal. I think it was the second goal. Anyway, I have a lot of issues with the way that match was officiated. But Brad, you brought up this Emil Smith Rowe miss. So the situation was City, Arsenal were allowing City to pass around their back. They weren't pressing them whatsoever. And then at a certain point, they decided to start. I think Arsenal might have been down 2-0 at this point. I don't know.
Yes.
But Arsenal needed to press more, so they were pressing. And Smith Rowe got in close on Ederson, and Ederson took too many touches and tried to fake,
the ball.
And he goes to clear the ball, and Smith Rowe reaches out to try and deflect the ball, and he does, but the ball goes wide. And so, Brad, you're telling me
you're what? We didn't see the same thing.
Ederson kicked the ball.
Ederson miskicks the ball, like taps it right to Emil Smith Rowe. It wasn't like a deflection.
No.
Emil Smith Rowe kicks it and it goes wide.
No.
Yes.
You
It went
were
as
at work or
wide as
something.
Werner Murata do.
No. So Ederson's
No, I watched that one.
Ederson's passing the ball to his teammate, and Emil Smith Rowe
On
reach.
the ground, very smoothly. No, there's no reach. There's a plant and kick.
No, there's not. What did you watch? What?
He missed a goal.
Yes, because
when he had a wide open goal.
He's deflecting a pass. I don't know what you're watching here. Blaming Smith Rowe for this.
If that goes in,
of course,
deflection goes in, the game is 1,000% different because then you don't lose Xhaka and all that stuff. That was where the big problem was. Besides the refereeing, he should have made that goal.
I don't disagree with the fact that if the ball goes in, but like is saying that he missed a shot there is incredibly unfair to him.
What's it like missing shots?
Not a single person in the world. I don't even know if that was considered a shot on goal by like.
It wasn't because it missed the goal
by like the XG people. Or what I'm trying to imply is
a goal scoring chance is what he said.
Yeah. I don't even know if XG consider that a chance on like a shot on like a shot. I don't know. I'd have to look because our XG that would be like a 99. What happened there would be like a 99 XG, and
I think it's like a 70 is the highest it goes.
Whatever the highest XG it could have been, that would have been that. But he missed it. So I don't and our XG for that game was like below 1 or something.
0.5.
Like that.
It was 0.5. So 0.5 is probably about right for that chance because there wasn't any other chances you guys had.
Yeah. So what were you gonna say, Sean?
To Brad's point, I'm pretty sure that counted as a shot. Because you had Brad, get ready to laugh. Get the laugh counter up. You had 1 shot, 0 on target. So that probably counted as a shot. Just to be fair.
I turned the match off after. I don't know if it was the third goal. I think it was the third goal. I turned it off.
To your point, just pulling out stats. Since I'm taking a look at it, to your point of just passing around the back for no reason at all, which is what City do. They had 755 passes, 91% completion to your 185. Arsenal would just, but that's an indictment on Arsenal. That's what City do. They just pass it around the back.
I think you can't take anything away from this game. I mean, like I think what you can take away from this game is that Arsenal are bad. Arsenal were bad. We're incredibly frail defensively. I think that's something that you can take away from this game. What I don't think you can take away from this game, I don't think you can learn anything about City from this game, because it wasn't a match after the 35th minute. Honestly, it might not have been a match after their first goal in like the 8th minute. Like Arsenal just fell apart. Like they just fell apart after the first goal.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Okay.
In a way that I don't think you guys are gonna expect me to take. I don't think this is a poop on Arsenal game, and which is an odd take given 5-0. But what I mean by that is, we were talking last week or the week before about the new officiating where they're letting a lot of things go. And we touched on, guys like Xhaka and guys like Dyer, and Dele Alli, who are kind of idiots. And they just go in clumsily. And I didn't happen to see the red on Xhaka. Maybe he deserved it. Maybe he didn't. But if you're going to tell these people like Xhaka and like Dyer that we are going to call the game more loosely, they're going to do things like that. And I think you have to be more hesitant with the straight red. I think that's really harsh if you're letting them play more violently.
It's such an astoundingly bad red card. And yes, I understand.
It felt like it.
I understand that I have Arsenal bias here, but it was an astoundingly bad red card decision, in my opinion. So Xhaka is penalized for going in for a 2-foot tackle, I guess. So yes, when he leaves the ground, does he start with 2 feet? Absolutely. When he gets to the ball and gets to the man, he has 1 foot on the ground and the other foot is bent, like a 1-footed tackle would be.
Yeah.
And the part that contacts Cancelo is the heel of his bent foot brushes across his shin. Brushes across makes it sound like he barely touched him. I don't know. He could have hit him hard. I'm not sure. But Xhaka wins the ball. Like, wins the ball. And and one of his feet comes in contact with Cancelo's leg.
His ball first, too.
Yeah, his ball first. Yeah.
The fact that it's a foul astounds me. The fact that it's a foul and a red card just infuriates me. And on top of that, the fact that it's a foul, a red card, and VAR didn't think it was a clear and obvious error, I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Because as an Arsenal fan, I watch, in the first week, Leno gets manhandled in the box by a Brentford player on a long throw. Gets manhandled, gets hugged. In the second week, Saka clearly gets fouled in the box by Reece James for a penalty. Clear as day, nothing. And in the third week, Xhaka gets sent off on a absurd tackle. One of our defenders, Callum Chambers, gets punched in the face on a play, and the guy who punches him in the face goes on to score a goal. And that's VAR'd and not seen as a foul. And Kolasinac gets yellow carded for essentially the same thing 10 minutes later. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm not trying to sugarcoat Arsenal here or come up with excuses for why Arsenal are in the position that we're in. We're in the position that we're in because we're not defending well and we're not creating chances. We are not very good right now. But I do not understand what Arsenal are supposed to do if all of these calls are going against us. I don't know what to do.
It is. I think what you're looking for is horrifyingly inconsistent refereeing.
But why? But why is Arsenal
in the same match?
But why is Arsenal always the butt of it? We were the butt of it all season last year. If you look at the amount of like VAR decisions that went against teams, like Arsenal were leading that list with Liverpool last year. Arsenal led that list. So like I've had a year of seeing it, and like I expect these things to kind of average out after a while. And 3 weeks in, it just seems like we're getting the shaft again. And maybe I'm just complaining. Maybe other people have had bad decisions. But for like 18 months now, this is all I've seen, and I don't know what to do with it.
No, I'm with you because I wanted to bring that up, especially with Granit Xhaka, because I'm on record many times saying Granit Xhaka is a better Eric Dyer. They are basically the same player, just Granit Xhaka is better. They're both clumsy, they're talented, they're physical, and they play a very similar role on the team, or they should be. Eric Dyer has no place in the center back role, but anyways, it just seems odd to tell Granit Xhaka at the beginning of the season we're going to allow more contact, and then he does it cleanly, and then you give him a straight red. And nobody loves seeing Arsenal at the bottom of the standings more than I do. It just seems unfair because eventually it's going to be Dyer that gets the same treatment.
I just wonder if it's like a reputation thing. Like for some reason, Arsenal.
You're saying like they expect Xhaka to be a dum-dum, and then they're just he's already ready to pull off the red before he even leaves the ground.
I wonder if Xhaka has a reputation. Well, we've also had this word was thrown around at Arsenal last year that we're undisciplined, and perhaps this is just a carryover from last year, and this is just the ill discipline of Arsenal coming out again. And
I don't think so.
We're not. It's just we're having shit decisions after shit decisions after shit decisions reinforced by VAR against us. And
Full disclosure, I had a pretty busy weekend, so I didn't catch a lot of the games. I tried to catch as much as I could. So this one being early on Saturday, I didn't happen to catch. But I was able to watch most of the first 2 weeks of Arsenal. I don't think you're bad. I think out of the first 2 weeks, honestly, Tottenham are not as good as first, and Arsenal not as bad as last. You just got unlucky against Brentford. I feel like you just got caught off guard by an inspired team who's happy to be up. And then you go to defending European
Champions of Europe.
Champions League champions. Then you're home against the Premier League champions, and you get a red card in the 35th. Like, I don't think there's anything to take away from the first 3 games other than that you got punched in the mouth week 1. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that being said, I wanted to make sure I made this point tonight. You have to win your next 2 games.
Yeah,
I think not you personally, not Arsenal personally. Mikel Arteta has to win the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think 4 points is enough to save his job.
No, I don't.
If not.
So just for the viewers at home, Arsenal's next 2 games, in 2 weeks they are home Norwich, they are away Burnley, then they have a cup midweek, and then they have the North London derby. If they go into that North London derby with less than 6 points and happen to lose at home to Tottenham, Arteta's fired.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Big Sam, can you come on in? Big Sam, we need you.
They're not getting Big Sam.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that a step further for you, Sean. I agree with you. I think Arsenal have to win the next 2 games. I think
if they go in with 4 or less points, they have to beat Tottenham.
Yeah. So I think if you come out of Tottenham with 6 points, I think out
of the 3 games,
and as long as as long as we don't look as long as we're not embarrassed by Tottenham. Say we beat Norwich and we beat Burnley.
Oh, you're going to lose 1-0, by the way.
Well, say we lose 5-0. I think Arteta loses his job. If we lose 1-0,
we don't score more than 1
I understand
goal, sir.
I understand that. But if we lose handily to Spurs and we look bad, I think Arteta loses his job. But
no matter, are you saying? Wait. Let me dive into that. Are you saying you beat Norwich, you beat Burnley, and you go in, you have Tottenham come to the Emirates and get hammered? You're saying Arteta's fired anyway?
I think so.
Really?
I think Arteta can afford to lose to Spurs.
Where's the sheet of integrity?
In a close game. I think he can afford to lose to Spurs in a close game. So assuming he loses to Spurs in a close game.
It's going to be 1-0, by the way. I don't know if you've kept up with the last 3 games of Tottenham football.
Does this mean Nuno's figured out what Jose didn't? Don't score 2, score 1?
No, Jose didn't figure out how to score the first one. That's the problem.
So to finish my point, Arsenal then have 3 matches: Brighton, Crystal Palace, Villa, all after Tottenham. I think
all winnable.
Yes, I think if they come out of that with at least 13 points total before they play Leicester on the 30th of October, I think that we're okay. But then we play Leicester, Watford, Liverpool, and so
honestly,
we need to win a lot of games coming up quickly.
I think you have 15 by Halloween.
That's what I want.
Jokes aside, I'm here for the ha-has on Arsenal, and me and Brad are going to keep cracking the jokes as long as they're in last place. But you're between Norwich, Burnley, Brighton, Palace, and Villa, that's 15 points that you should have. I think you have 15 by Halloween, dude.
I'm going to need Arsenal to have 21 points by Halloween, and that's all wins. And I'll be less melancholy. It's not going to happen because we're not going to win 7 straight.
Hey, speaking of points, let me make sure I'm not skipping anything. Oh, I'm skipping a lot. All right, never mind. I destroyed my segue by skipping a bunch of games. A few of which I would like to actually make a comment on.
Well, I would like you to make comments on those, but I think that there's a vein of similarity in the Liverpool-Chelsea game.
Yes.
That I had with the Arsenal-City game that Brad's
what do you got?
Because there was a contentious decision in this game. Chelsea are winning 1-0, and Reece James gets called for a, I guess, intentional handball in the box and gets red carded, and there's a penalty given. So this is the classic double jeopardy situation where he gets sent off and there's a penalty.
Before Brad starts rolling, I thought that was. Did you see it, James?
Oh no, I'm. This is a bad thing for me to admit, but I was in such a melancholy mood after City Arsenal that I didn't watch any football. I was really, really upset. I couldn't do it.
I didn't watch it live. I caught it later, highlights, and I thought that was kind of borderline.
Okay.
And I don't know if you give a straight red. Same thing with Xhaka. Do you give that a straight red? I just thought it was kind of like right on the fringe.
No.
There's no fringe. But okay, so this is what I will say.
Hit his
First,
hand, yes.
for the penalty.
You
Yes,
give the penalty
it
and a
probably
yellow.
is a penalty
Yeah.
because his arm moved forward.
That's
Not the
my
part
point.
that Anthony Taylor saw. Anthony Taylor did not see that part. He walked over to the screen, saw one image, and threw the red card and pointed to the penalty. I have more about Anthony Taylor. Let's do this. Every time he has reffed a Chelsea game, we have had 87 yellows, 87 cards.
How many games?
38. 38
Holy
games,
crap!
87 cards.
That's 3 yellow cards a game.
The closest team to us is 70 with Liverpool at 45 games, with 7 more games.
Anthony Taylor specifically.
That is
87.
a really good stat.
Hold on. Are you ready for more? Manchester United have won every single game he has reffed out of 25. Chelsea has won 18 out of 38. Chelsea, who have been one of the best clubs in England for this, century? That's the joke, right? We have no history. Have played with him as the ref for 38 games, and we have won less than half.
Wow.
That is unheard of.
Yeah, I know Chelsea fans hate Anthony Taylor.
It's not even like it's like a myth that like we get, he can throw us bad calls and the stats don't back it up. It's completely asinine that he gets to ref Chelsea games.
It's actually an insane stat. 38 games, 87 yellows.
Yes.
That is insanity.
I mean, three yellow cards in a match does not seem that
on one team.
Does not seem
but,
that.
Yeah,
does not
but
seem that
every
outlandish.
time.
Yeah, that's
one time.
That's the problem.
On one team.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's every time you get three. You get 3 in one game. That's one thing.
And look, and VAR did the job that it was supposed to do. Anthony Taylor didn't give the penalty. VAR said, "No, you need to take a look at this." He doesn't watch the replay. He watches the screen grab that was on the thing. He walks up to the screen, and it's like the screensaver was the ball hitting Reece James's arm. Not after the leg. It just hit his arm. That's all Anthony Taylor sees. Turns around, gives the red, points to the penalty.
Yeah, that was really poor.
Didn't watch it at all. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, I was so upset.
The VARing was incredibly bad for that. It goes against the VAR protocols, right?
How did he not watch the video? He didn't even take 3 seconds. Like he looked at it like this and was like, okay, and out.
It was
what?
Yes. So I think everybody agrees that it's a foul, that it's a yellow card. Everyone agrees
that it is a penalty. Yes,
everyone agrees it is a point to the spot, yellow.
Yes.
And then you move on. You move on with the game.
I think Anthony Taylor and the VAR official are the only people in the world who think it's a red card.
I think the same point goes.
Klopp did.
Yeah, Klopp didn't either.
Klopp was like, this double jeopardy was stupid. It ruined the game.
He was kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, so I was talking with Jimmy, who is our Liverpool supporter, and I'm going to let you finish, Brad. But he was saying, because he's a Liverpool supporter, he was like, I think that Liverpool win the game if Chelsea are 11-man. And his rationale is that at 1-1 at Anfield, Chelsea will not compact themselves as much as they did. And Chelsea will be more willing to chase the game, to try and win the game, and that will leave more space to Liverpool. Liverpool are traditionally really bad about breaking down compact defensive teams and defensive structures, and that they're much
That's actually
better.
a really good point, yeah.
And so his point was that
actually a really good point.
He thinks Liverpool's odds of winning the game were much better had it been 11-on-11, and that since it went 11-on-10, and so maybe that's the same thing that Klopp was doing, was like, well, what the hell, this ruins the game. It makes it so much more difficult for us to score a goal. And like that seems counterintuitive, right? You would think that like 11v10, that's easier to score a goal. But unless like you're just really good in the air, like that's not really a thing. So that was just the point he made.
And that's a fair point. Like I think the game is much more interesting 11-on-11 because it was a very, very good game until
really good game.
I was gonna go back and watch it. I was gonna watch it on replay.
It was a good game.
After I got over
my
emotions.
Me wearing this Chelsea jersey, it was 1,000% the best game of the weekend. Like
by a
large margin.
As far as fun to watch, absolutely.
Until the red card. The red card killed that game. Then it became pack it in. You're not scoring again. We got a couple of fast breaks. Mount actually had a chance for us to win it, if I'm not mistaken. I missed the second half because I was at work. And after that red card, I was pissed too. So I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not watching this anymore. And when you see stats like this with Anthony Taylor, how is he able to ref games?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Anthony
He
Taylor's like
he
the
was
number.
refing the Euros, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's like the number 2 English ref because like Michael Oliver, Anthony Taylor, then like maybe like Mike Dean or something like that. But
But
Anthony,
how is it?
he's so
How
bad.
is it that City? How is that United has won every single game he's the ref of?
It's like the Howard Webb syndrome, right? Whoever the bald English referee is just a United supporter or something
I
like
guess,
that. I
yeah.
don't know.
Like, and he's from Manchester.
Is he really?
He is from Manchester. How are you able to ref Manchester games if you are from Manchester?
Well, I don't think that should be an issue. Like where you
I
come
don't.
from.
What?
How many of the Premier League referees are from London, Brad? I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
I'm not. I'm not saying. Okay, that's a,
You
right. But like, if you have this type of
All right.
favoritism towards the team,
Now you're good. So what you want every NBA ref to be from Iowa? Like where are we going with
Yes.
this?
Yeah. So I think.
You know what I'm saying?
I think.
but you also don't have that type of refereeing, those types of stats for an NBA official.
Well,
You don't have like that are
no,
that
no,
obvious.
Oh yeah, you do.
There was one.
That
There was
Chris,
one.
Chris Paul guy.
Chris Paul. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Paul. There's a certain ref that he has lost 13 straight playoff games while this guy's been a ref,
Right,
and
I remember that.
He had 2
and he
games in
gets
the
in foul
final.
trouble every game. Yeah,
Didn't he have
and
2
he had
games in the final?
2 games in the final.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was after the first 2 that they went up 2. It was the third game and like the final game.
Yeah. This is the
Insanity.
The David Stern NBA officials are cooked theory here.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like this.
David Stern's also RIP, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
true.
Not with us anymore.
But like there was a lot of talk back when he was still the man, and it's just carried over to Adam Silver. But yeah, so like that was an astronomically bad decision, and I don't understand. Like I don't want to dive into the deep end of Anthony Taylor should never be allowed to manage a Chelsea game again.
You should.
But
You should never.
Holy smokes, that's a bad decision. And on top of that, now Reece James is banned for 3 matches. Yeah, or maybe it's only 1 match.
Yeah, straight red.
But I think
It's a straight red. That's 3.
I thought that they
Same
changed.
for Xhaka unless they appeal.
Well, Xhaka was a violent play, so I think Reece James might only be 1 game because I think it.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
It's a 2 match game.
a red handball is different than a red challenge.
Yeah, and like double
Yeah,
yellow.
you're right,
Double
you're right.
yellow is different than straight red violent conduct.
Yeah. I think it goes 3-2-1. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
But you could still appeal to either reduce or eliminate that suspension.
I think Chelsea should absolutely appeal it, and I think Chelsea should
Absolutely.
absolutely win.
Yeah.
I don't.
And
know-
so should
100%.
Arsenal.
I don't think Arsenal will win an appeal just because he does start in the air with 2 feet. But
He barely hit him.
he barely touches him. I'm so don't. we
And
need to move
secondly,
on.
I don't think. Listen, if Anthony Taylor gave the red card because he saw the arm move forward with the ball, right? Because like it hits his thigh, then it hits his arm, and his arm moves forward and like pushes the ball a little bit. Okay, like I'm not as upset. I'm still pissed because it ruins the game, and it should probably be a yellow. But you can make a case that he pushed his arm forward to keep it out of the net, right?
I think we're
Cool.
kind of beat. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But he didn't. He only watched this. He only saw 1 picture.
I just
I think we're kind of beating a dead horse here.
I want to keep
so-
beating this horse.
I
I
want
want
to
Taylor's head.
kind of tie a bow on it. If your guys are okay with that, but if you have like any points you want to get out before we tie a bow, then speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
So I shout out to Formula One, Lando Norris, number 4. What's up? In case he listens to the pod.
Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton.
No. We don't like Mercedes around there. So I've been watching F1 Drive to Survive, and they kind of at the beginning of the episodes they kind of they name the episode with a title, and it's something that's said later in the episode. So I think if we had a name for the title of this episode, it would be horrifyingly inconsistent refereeing. And
Really
it's
long.
It's yes, it is, but it's just been we're only 3 weeks in. That's been the story of the season so far. It's horrifyingly inconsistent refereeing. it's been shocking how inconsistent it has been.
Yeah, I've said my piece on officiating. I mean, I'm gonna have another piece when we talk about the Wolves United game.
We've talked about on the pod before that I grew up playing baseball. I played 13 years of baseball, and all I ever wanted in any of those baseball games is if you're from Euro and you don't understand the baseball game, maybe you do, maybe you don't. There's a strike zone that you need to hit it in to be a strike or a ball. If you're outside of that, that is the width of the plate. That is from knee to chest. Yeah. If you're outside of that, that's a ball. If you're inside of it, it's a strike. Some umpires have a bigger strike zone. Some umpires have a smaller strike zone. Some of them have no idea and just call it willy-nilly.
Jerry West.
And those are the worst ones. If it's just be consistent, so I know what to expect.
Yeah,
is all I ask. And that was the bow I tied on it. That was really long and long-winded. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
It's like a triple knot bow, but we're here for it.
Yeah. So, sorry for my soliloquy. Yeah,
that's a good word. I like that. Yeah. So
Gabe's the big word.
Villa Brentford. Brentford.
That was a 4-banger, Brad. You all right with that? You want me to spell it?
Okay. I
couldn't spell it if I tried.
I'm gonna keep going. So Villa Brentford 1-1 draw. That's a good result for Brentford. Brentford continuing.
I was gonna say away at Brentford, keeping the point streak going. That's 3 games, 3 points, or three results.
They got 5 points.
5 points.
5 more than Arsenal.
That's big. All right. Yeah. Well, I've said my piece on Arsenal. I'm not going to be nice to them anymore this pod. I've been as nice as I'm going to be to Arsenal.
Rafa Benitez gets a win away to Brighton. I guess Everton's doing pretty well.
That's a big time result for them. Those are the two I kind of wanted to just. I don't want to dive into them, but that's you hit it. Big win for Everton, and big result to keep the streak going for Brentford. That's important.
To go back to the Everton one though, is it? Because I was the only one that was high on Brighton, and we were saying this is their test match, and losing 2-0, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think Brentford are good. But
Brighton, not Brentford.
Oh,
Brighton.
Brighton. I still don't think Brighton are good. But I mean, Everton. So Everton's in a weird spot, right? So they brought in Ancelotti, who's a proven winner, serial winner everywhere he goes, and they bring him in to kind of try and win at Everton and try and break the streak that they have of not winning. And it doesn't.
It did.
Well,
they were close.
They were close, but it doesn't work out for them.
Were they eighth? They were eighth last year.
No, Arsenal were eighth.
It doesn't. No, they were higher. They were sixth.
They were 10th.
They were 10th. Yeah. So they were in contention, but they kind of fell apart over the last 3 weeks. But so this is the point I'm making. So they have Ancelotti, and then after Ancelotti they bring in Rafa Benitez, and Rafa Benitez is he's a serious manager. And he wins a lot where he goes. Champions League, I think he won La Liga with Madrid. Got
a stupid goatee, but yeah.
And he won. Did he win some stuff at Liverpool as well? Isn't he
Champions Leagues?
Yeah,
Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
he won Champions Leagues. He won Champions Leagues.
No, yeah,
Rafa. Was he the manager in 05?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we'll look that up in the background.
Pretty sure.
We'll just keep it moving. We'll keep it moving.
But this is kind of an interesting season for them because they've been building to things. Is Rafa going to be able to continue what Ancelotti was doing? Will he need time to implement his own thing? I don't know. I mean, so I think that's an interesting situation for them. Yeah,
I think the Newcastle Southampton game, that's not noteworthy. Norwich Leicester not really noteworthy. West Ham Palace being a 2-2 draw.
It's a London derby.
West Ham. They're not continuing their form they had last year. They started out hot. They held on for a long time. Then they ended up finishing fifth.
Yes.
They were higher than Tottenham.
Fourth. They finished sixth. They finished sixth because Leicester finished fifth.
Okay. Yeah. That's not a good sign for them drawing to Palace.
I need to step away for a second because apparently there's a tornado warning in my area. So you guys keep talking. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, we'll fill.
We got you.
Because we haven't even gotten to the 1-0 Masters. But I just wanted to bring that up because West Ham are not starting out too hot. I remember them coming out of the gates pretty hot early last year, and Palace. We were making jokes last year, December, January, February, about Palace, about just how I had them getting relegated. They look so bad.
I think you're on the wrong side of this take. I think you're on the wrong side of this take for this game.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, West Ham is second on the table. They're at 7 points, so they've come out hot again this year. And
but that's
Crystal Palace, Vieira's getting his feet wet, and I think a draw for Crystal Palace is a bigger deal. I think West Ham dropped points there. I think West Ham should have won that game.
Yeah. Look, they're scoring. The only reason they're second is the goals forced.
10 goals, yeah. But they've also given up
because 2, 3, 4, 5 all have goal differential of 5. The only reason they're second is because they have 10 goals scored.
Okay, but at the same time, right? Like they're performing. They're in that top 400 again, that top 600 again. They're going for European football. Crystal Palace is on the other side. They're rebuilding. I think they lost like 10 players to not re-signing them. And then Vieira comes in. And the Chelsea boy saves the day, actually. Gallagher with his 2 goals. Chelsea Loney. I think you're on the wrong side of this. I think this is a better result for Crystal Palace than it is for West Ham. I think West Ham should have won this game. This should have been 3 points for West Ham. And yes, a London derby, but I think you're on the wrong side.
I see where you're heading with this. I just think not a good draw.
No.
If you want to be up there with the big boys, Tottenham, you can't drop points to Palace. Tottenham.
As you say, Tottenham, you can't drop points to Palace.
You can't drop points to Palace if you want to be up there with the big boys. Tottenham. I think I actually.
Problem?
What's that?
Is that Tottenham's problem? It's your boogeyman team?
Crystal Palace are our boogeyman. Yes, that is 100% factual. I feel like I looked that up on the pod one time live. I think we lost a stretch from about 2017 to 19 or 20. We lost seven straight games. Lost, not drop points. Lost 7 straight.
Lost all the points.
Yes. Yeah. 0 points through 7 over about clearly a 3.5 year period. Which is embarrassing. you gotta at least get a point in there. But the other result I kind of wanted to touch on was I had a lot more expectations for Leeds, man.
Me too.
And a 1-1 draw away at Burnley, not great.
They need goals.
Yeah. What's Bamford doing over there?
He's good enough for an English call up, but I don't think he's not. He gets the chances. He's just not. He can't convert. Well, that's why he left our system.
I'm back now. Bamford, he kind of fell off last season. He started off strong and then he fell off in the later half of the season. So I don't
think he fell off. I think
he's just coming back to his mean.
He wasn't very good the entire year.
He was hot. He was hot there at the beginning. He was real hot at the beginning.
Well, you know what? If I got the call up to play for Leeds and I got about 12 shots a game, I'd probably score one every once in a while. He just had a lot of shots and his conversion rate was insanely low. He missed a lot, missed the woodwork a lot, got blocked a lot. It just felt like their whole game plan is go forward. We've talked about that on the pod. They just go that way, and so he's gonna get a lot of chances, and he just didn't convert as many as he should have to be a top end striker. So which is why he didn't get looked at by top end clubs. What do you got? What do you got, Brad?
What if Holland goes where his daddy went and goes to Leeds.
That's
Does that
not
make
gonna
them?
happen.
Does
That's
that
not
make
gonna
them? Does that make them top 4?
They don't have the money.
They can
No.
find 75 mil.
Well, I don't. Well, hold on now. Leeds is a
His
pretty
release
big
clause.
club.
His
Right.
release clause is 75 mil.
Guys,
I think you can find that.
Like if they spend a couple years back up in the Premier League, they're probably financially recovered from their debacle.
I think it takes longer. I mean,
And when I say a couple, I mean 3 or 4. I'm not saying 2.
Here's my question: Does Erling Haaland want to play for Bielsa? Does he want to
I
have
don't
to
know.
work that hard? I don't know if he wants to work that hard.
He's been wearing
I don't think he has to work that
LU
hard when you're
shorts.
center forward.
He's been wearing LU shorts. He's been wearing LU clothing. So I don't know.
He's not
sprinkling it out there.
He's not going to Leeds.
The official
But if he does, I think that makes him top 4.
The official Whiteheart_Sean stamp it approval stone cold lock is Holland will not play for Leeds in his 20s.
I'm with you. I know.
I'm not saying,
it was
I'm
just
not saying he doesn't do a moonlight when he's 34.
Doesn't pull
but he will not play in he will not play in his prime.
But if we're talking that like all Leeds needs, because all they do is go forward, is they need somebody that can convert.
Yeah,
they
it's Holland.
Clearly can't convert enough. Like Holland fixes that.
Yeah,
that's all he does is convert.
What about this Spurs Watford game? I don't have a lot of gloating to do. Getting results is good. I mean, it's what you need to do to be where we are at the round. Of course, I don't. And like you said, James, in 7 weeks, do I expect to be top of the table? Probably not. But when we're getting results, that's the important part. That's where it puts yourself in a better position to be around the top later.
I mean, who do you guys have coming up? Let me look at this real quick.
We've got Chelsea coming up soon.
I think
Crystal
Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal. Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal. That's a tough 3-game stretch.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's especially since the Palace are our nightmare, and then we've got 2 tough teams back to back. Just my biggest takeaway is just whatever defensive strategy Nuno put in, they're taking to it. It is kind of bizarre. This feels like prime Danny Rose, Kyle Walker, Vertonghen, Toby, Lloris. It feels like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where we were just a stonewall, and Hugo got the Golden Gloves, but only because his back line was impenetrable. I think he gave up. I think that season altogether, he gave up something like 13 or 14 goals total. In the league. In the league.
No,
yeah,
it was that. No,
it was insanely low that year. It was either 16, 7. It was either 16 or 17. Because Danny Rose, that was the best form that Danny Rose had been on, and it was before Kyle Walker left. And both Toby and Jan were still young enough to get it done. And Lloris, same thing. And it was an insanely low amount of goals allowed by Lloris that year.
What year?
It was either 16-17 or 17-18. It was either 16 or 17.
There's no way.
I think 17-18 is the year I'm thinking of. But it was an insanely low goals allowed. But yeah. So, anyways, I don't have a lot to say about beating Watford. They're not a very good team this year. Clearly, Nuno was the backbone, but it is after watching the end of last year between Jose and the interim manager.
Do you remember his name?
No, I can picture his face though.
Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason. Yeah, I almost spoiled it. Yeah. After watching Ryan Mason, especially, not really have a plan, it is just refreshing to watch a team that visibly has a plan.
It was For the record, it was 24, which is still impressive.
I knew.
I knew it wasn't that because
I was pulling numbers out of my butt from 4 years ago, but I knew it wasn't just an insanely low goals allowed number.
Because the lowest goals ever allowed was Chelsea at 15 for the entire season.
Okay,
So that's how I knew you were way wrong. I thought you were more wrong than what you were, so that's good. But
I just remember it being like just an insane. But it was the back four, not really Lloris. Like I'm not giving all credit to Lloris. And then we round out the week with Wolves United. Unless you had something on Spurs, James.
No, I was going to move us on to Wolves United. And what I want to say about this game is Wolves got hosed. Hosed. Because so I alluded to this when I was talking about VAR. So this Pogba challenge, studs up into the dude's shin, and they go on to score directly off of that challenge. So Pogba gets away with, by all accounts, a foul, but by most accounts, a red card. Studs up into someone's leg is generally a red card for violent play. And so not only is it not a foul, they go on directly off of that play to score a goal. And no VAR intervention, no nothing. And United win 1-0. It's just like, how does this happen? How does this happen? I don't understand, man. I'm still at a loss.
Anthony Taylor paid the ref to make sure United won.
I wonder if Anthony Taylor was the VAR ref for that match. Who knows, man?
He might have been.
Who knows? He was still in London. Well, I guess he was in Liverpool the day before. Who knows?
But it's a short drive.
Yeah, it's not far. But yeah,
unless we're doing Sean geography, then it's like 1,000 miles.
So yeah, I think Wolves were host. But yeah, I think that's all we got for this week. We thought this was going to be a short podcast, boys, but we are well over an hour.
We'd be talking.
Anthony Taylor deserved every single word that I said, and more.
But yeah, so that's all we have. Oh, hello. My cat is here to say hello.
Hi, Kitty.
You're loud purring. Excuse me. And you trim my shirt. Asshole. Sorry. I assumed his purring was loud on my microphone. But so that's all we have for this week. If you guys are still listening, we really appreciate it. If you could just, like always, comment, subscribe, like all that good stuff on the podcast. Share it with your mother. Share it with your brother. As always, this man up top with me, that's at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. That's all on Twitter. And we collectively on Twitter are at redcard_radio. So yeah, hit us up. Talk to us, interact with us. We'd love to hear from you, and we will be back next week. And next week we're going to talk about the transfer window. See how everybody feels about the transfer window. See who the winners are, who the losers are, and then we'll preview match week 4 for you guys. But until that time, we will see you all later. Good night.